Hello, good morning. Our first issue is Ramappa Temple in UNESCO's World Heritage List. Recently, UNESCO's World Heritage Committee has decided to add this particular site of Telangana in the World Heritage Sites list. It is built by Racharla Senapati Rudraya. He was a general under Kakatiya ruler Ganapati Deva. This temple was built in 13th century. Its foundation is built with sandstone technique and flooring is granite and pillars are built with basaltic rock. And the lower part of this temple is built with sandstone and white gopuram is built with light bricks which can float in the water. We have to try to learn about India's World Heritage Sites for our prelims examination in art and culture. Next issue is landslides in Himachal Pradesh. Landslides in Kinnaur district of Himachal Pradesh have happened due to heavy rainfall. In general, in India, we receive heavy rainfall in the month of July due to southwest monsoon. Recently, we have also read about landslides in Maharashtra, that is near Mumbai, and floods in AP Telangana, floods in Maharashtra, floods in various states across northeast. So these have become a common phenomena recently. Extreme events have become common phenomena. One major reason is climate change. Next issue is wolf warrior diplomacy. What does it mean? It means muscular posture, that is, hard posture pursued by the China to assert its interests, especially after global financial crisis when the Western countries and European countries they started facing the economic crisis. Then China became economically stronger and it started asserting itself. That assertive foreign policy posture is said to be as wolf warrior diplomacy. Is it good or bad? For China, if we observe this kind of hard posture near LAC, it has led to conflict between India and China. So in future also, this kind of hard posture might lead to conflict. So net positive of this foreign policy might not be positive. This kind of asserted diplomacy is known as wolf warrior diplomacy. Next article, bootleg fire. Bootleg fire in Southern Oregon district, Southern Oregon state of USA. It is considered the largest wildfire in the country and third largest in Oregon's history itself. So as on yesterday, it has burnt 4 lakh acres of forest region and only 42% of this fire is contained. Since last 1 week, only 42% of this fire is contained. This large scale fire and associated temperature and air pollution led to its own formation of weather system. Fire induced tornado. This particular fire has induced a tornado in this particular region. In this context, world has already warmed up 1.2 degrees from the industrial era. Our goal is to limit the increase in the temperatures by 2000 to 1.5 degrees or at max 2 degrees. But in the next few years itself, we are going to reach 1.5 degrees. Already we reached till 1.2 degrees. In this context, how to accelerate the measures to reduce the negative impacts of climate change? On that issue, all the countries need to focus upon. Next issue is China Pakistan joint resolution. Recently, joint action was proposed in addressing the Afghanistan crisis in the region by Pakistan and China. They said we are going to focus on preventing the escalation of war and containing the terror forces in the region. But what Pakistan is doing is reverse. It is training many of the jihadists. It is supporting Taliban's. So it's not doing what it is saying. That's a different issue. Next, and they have also discussed about China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC. It is part of One Belt, One Road. Both the countries have made a resolution that this particular corridor should be made as hub of regional connectivity. But India opposed this particular project CPEC. Why? It passes through Pak occupied Kashmir. And China, it's a combined project of China and Pakistan. But that's our territory, we also have claim on it. That's why we oppose it as it is a threat to our India's sovereignty. This is the primary reason why India did not join in One Belt One Road infrastructural project of China. Next, let us understand the editorials. First one is climate change and increase in the extreme events. Recently, we are observing an increase in the extreme events in India and elsewhere. In India, recent cyclones, Cyclone Taute, etc., their intensity is very, very high. See, in general, in Arabian Sea, the number of cyclones as compared to Bay of Bengal are very less. It's 1 is to 4, one in South, one in Arabian Sea and 4 in Bay of Bengal. But recently, number of cyclones and the intensity of cyclones in Arabian Sea are increasing. And interaction between warming, rainfall and temperature, it's a complex variable. And many things like aerosol emissions, particulate matter pollution, agriculture, forestry patterns, this all leads to these changes. In this context, international climate agreements such as Paris Agreement, Kyoto Protocol, these should be taken up seriously. And these things, these international protocols, they have targets till 2100. But every country need to address this issue at individual level. Yes, we need global cooperation, but every country should take it seriously. For example, if you have observed European floods, USA's heat dome and USA's forest fires, Canada's forest fires, elsewhere, many events are happening in China. They have experienced huge floods. All these are results of climate change. So these extreme events need to be reduced. Next issue is official digital currency. Recently, RBI has proposed for pilot project on central bank digital currency CBDC. Parliamentary Committee, Interministerial Committee on Cryptocurrencies, it has recommended to ban the private currency and promote the official digital currency. In accordance with the recommendation of that ministerial committee, RBI has recently proposed for pilot project. And the government is also thinking of introducing cryptocurrencies, ban of private cryptocurrency and introduction of official digital currency. That's the bill name. So, government also wants to introduce that particular bill in the parliament. In this context, issues to be considered include how it will be issued. How should the government or RBI issue the cryptocurrency? What is the degree of anonymity we should have? What kind of technology needs to be introduced? Is it centralized or decentralized ledger system? And what would be the impact of monetary policy? And what about the security concerns, cyber security? These are the issues on which RBI needs to think upon before issuing the digital currency. Next issue is China's military convergence plan. Recently, our CDS, Chief of Defence Staff, has said that IAF is a supporting arm of the defence forces. And IAF's chief said that, Indian Air Force chief said that Indian Air Force's contribution cannot be belittled by saying it's just a supportive wing. In this context, we have to understand that every wing is equally important. And finding a common ground, building synergies, these are the important issues now. Next issue is food security and pandemic. Pandemic led to hunger issues in many parts of the world, not just in India. In India, we have TPDS program, which is already stronger. And extension of TPDS program and providing free food grains through Centum, in addition to the food grain that is provided already by the states, that has led to positive results. At least hunger rates have been stabilized. Yes, hunger rates increased, but compared to other countries, hunger control in India is good because of the implementation of this scheme. But we need to go little more. In this context, implementation of One Nation, One Ration Card scheme, going for climate resilient agriculture, reduction of food wastage and international collaboration, these can result in further lessening the hunger levels in India. Next issue is addressing fake news. What do we mean by fake news? Fake news is disinformation that has no basis or reality, but it is presented as a fact. Fake news can have large negative impacts in democracy, economy, and society. In this context, how to address this fake news? In some cases, it has led to communal violence also. How to reduce? One, introduction of technology. Let's say artificial intelligence tools. which recognizes which is a fake news, which is a genuine news. So AI technology and legal framework to address the fake news, these should be the way forward. These are today's articles. Thank you very much. All the very best.